And let's talk about the Uber EV incentive explained by Uber support. And we want to know what you're going to be thinking about that when we go through this. Sergio, I don't know if you need me to read this for you
Yes,
or
please,
not.
because
But
my eyes are shit. But no,
all right.
well, you know the setup, so you saw this already, and yeah, man, um, yeah, this is interesting. You know, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know if you want to set it up a little bit beforehand,
Oh,
but
okay.
like
So,
the story, but
well, a year and a half or close to 2 years now, we actually lucked into it, to be honest with you guys. We discovered that the Uber EV bonus, which was $1 per trip before it all got watered down, which it is what it is now.
Mhm.
$210 for 200 trips in 30 days, and in some cities it's 150, in some cities it's 250. But we discovered, when it was a single trip, single dollar situation, we discovered that Uber was lowering the base fare, but then putting the dollar on. And the only way we discovered is we had an EV driver next to an ICE driver. They were getting the same trip. Our expectation was that the dollar extra should be automatically added to it, and it wasn't. And we called it EV shaving, EV bonus shaving. And thousands of people, I don't know how many thousands, so tens of thousands of drivers got good chunks of money after about 3 to 4 months after we ran that episode. And Uber made good and reimbursed the money to everyone that they shaved. However, this is brand new. So this is under the latest EV bonus scheme. Should I call the scheme? Yeah.
Yeah,
Scheme.
I would, which is
Yeah.
the
After you read
200
this, you guys will figure
rides
out
to
it's a
210.
scheme. Yeah. So anyway, and this driver was wondering if his base fares are being adjusted lower on his way to accomplish the 200 trips for $210 EV bonus in 30 days. And he went to Uber support and said, "Hey, what's up? You know, um, and Uber support came back with this response, because he was like
Mhm.
thinking this trip should pay me more, and Uber support came back with this response. So that's the setup.
Yep. All right. So the response that Uber had said through their chat is, "Thank you for getting back to us. We understand your point. You might be receiving less payment per trip when using an EV with Uber because of a potential incentive structure that rewards drivers who complete a certain number of EV rides within a specific period." Let me read that again. You
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be receiving less payment per trip when using an EV with Uber because of a potential incentive structure that rewards drivers who complete a certain number of EV rides within a specific period going on, rather
Mhm.
than a base increase in per trip earnings for using an EV. In summary, while Uber may offer incentives for using EVs, it's not necessarily a direct increase in per trip earnings, but rather a bonus for reaching a certain number of EV rides within a specific period. If you're wondering about the benefits of an EV relative to gas vehicle, in addition to being zero emissions, EVs can be quieter and provide a smoother ride than traditional vehicles. That's bullshit. Um, you may also get access to dedicated parking spots and driving lanes depending on where you drive. Plus, while you'll need to pay for charging, you won't have to pay for gas. We appreciate so much for voicing your concern. Thank you for using Uber. Oh, thanks for confirming that if a driver buys an EV, Uber pays less. No one confirmed this before. That was his response. So, basically, what it comes down to saying, and this is what you had asked me, and you and I came up pretty much with the exact same thought process on this, is that the EV bonus that they're potentially giving you is nothing. So they're going to mark down the trips to where you would get that bonus, and then that way, when you get the bonus, it's what you would be actually getting if you didn't have the EV.
Well, this will be very difficult to nail when it comes to our end, investigate it, because the dollar is not
Actually, it
showing up.
won't. It
Wow.
won't be hard to figure that out. And I have a plan on why, but I cannot say it right now
No,
because we know who's
we'll talk
watching.
that amongst us first. But I'm saying this, okay? Now, Uber, this is like unnecessary. Okay, I know somebody will email me tomorrow and say, "Hey, that's not what we meant." I'm like, "It's English. I don't know. It's your agent, AI agent or human. I don't know. Either your script is messed up again. If this is a human, they cut and pasted the wrong thing. You're not training these people well, or if you're AI,
I
you're not training your AI well. It's
I
clearly. I
don't.
mean,
I think this is an AI, but I think that they're pulling data from things that may not supposed to be let out. Like you have your internal, and then you have your external, and I think they're pulling from the whole source. So that's why it came up with that. That's what I would have to think.
okay. Well, I will ask for a clarification from them about this. So take a screenshot of this, Uber.
Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Listen, man. I mean, look, my English is decent. We looked at this together. Actually, I think it was during lunch or something, right, in Santa Monica.
Yep.
And I said, "This is going up. What does this look like to you?" So you read it twice, I think, during lunch, and you said, "Yeah,
It's not.
they're kind of
Yeah,
admitting what they're
basically,
doing."
let's say you were out driving and you were supposed to earn $500 for the week, or no, let's just say $2,000 for the month.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to go out for the 2,000 month, but they might be reducing that by 200 and so dollars, 210. So if you have an EV, you might be getting 210 less than the 2,000 that your ICE counterpart would have actually had. So it looks like they're taking away some of your money in order to pay you a bonus that you were supposed to get. So it's not really a bonus. It's just we're going to pay you later, and we're going to manipulate the pricing. So it seems like you're getting a bonus on top of your fares, but in reality, that's not happening. In reality, they're discounting what they're paying you and then going to pay you later once you complete the 200 trips.
So to me,
That's
this
what it
kind
sounds
of
like.
this proves EV shaving. I mean, to a point, right? And a
Yeah, but
bonus.
like I said, I have a pretty good idea on how to use this to see if that's the case. Um, and yeah,
All right, well, we'll figure that out. But so for people with EVs, if you are, I would actually, I'm sure there's a bunch of people here driving EVs. Why don't you guys send Uber support, even chatbot or whatever, an inquiry asking, am I getting paid because I'm driving an EV, or some sort of question that this driver asked? And I'll say, I bought an EV. It seems like I'm getting paid less on trips in my EV as opposed to some other drivers with ICE vehicles. Although I understand that I'm going to get to $210, are my base fares being lowered? Some question, something like that. Okay.
so
And let's see what
you know,
the chatbots are going to say. Let's see if they say the same.
not only that, but go back to what we were talking about, advantage versus standard. You get that 5% more. Well,
Well,
my theory was, and this kind of, I would say semi confirms it, that what they're doing is they discounted you 5% and then say that you're going to make 5% more. So, this is where I want to go to do testing as well in advantage versus standard areas to see, okay, let's see if driver A and driver B, one standard, one advantage, is actually making 5% more than the one who's not. And then if not, that shows that they're adjusting the base fare. And, if it's anything other than 5%, where's it going? What's going on? So those types of things I do want to test as well too. But that makes me really think that they're discounting your base fare, what they're supposed to pay you, and then saying, hey, guess what? You're going to get 5% more for this ride, which would be the same price that it would have been no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. I think we will need some sort of clarification on this. So I'm sure I'll hear from them tomorrow or the next day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And don't worry, we'll be checking into this, and we will be reporting our findings for not only everybody here who may be driving an EV or Advantage versus Standard once we're able to get that going. And then, I'm sure everybody will want to know what's going on there and if they're owed any money.
Yeah, definitely. So keep us posted. If you do have a chat with Uber support, take a screenshot like this driver did and send it to me, Sergio at rideshareguy.com.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.